join me for a story time. I'd like to introduce you all to Jose Garriga. Here you see him as a detective with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office, and it was there in 2015 where he was one of 4 officers involved in the shooting death of 48-year-old Andrew Williams. They were doing like a drug sting. When they identified themselves as law enforcement, they claimed that he tried to drive away, looked like he was driving at officers, so they opened fire and took his life. Now you might be worried and say, wow, is that going to affect Deputy Garriga's career? No. In fact, he went on to be hired by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Department. So now he was working over there, and it was there in 2019. He pulled over a 22-year-old college student named Jamie Johnson for not wearing his seatbelt, and somehow a traffic stop that was about just not wearing the seatbelt escalated to the point that Deputy Garriga drew his service weapon and shot and killed Jamie Johnson. But don't you worry, Deputy Garriga was cleared in that shooting. It didn't stop the family of Jamie Johnson, though, from filing a lawsuit against the city of Jacksonville. Because while Garriga argued Johnson was reaching for a weapon, his family argued body cam footage showed no evidence of that. Their attorney said Johnson's autopsy didn't show the bullet trajectory matching Garriga's story. You know what it did show them, though? They got to watch their son pleading for his life after he had been shot 4 times. So they got that. And the city of Jacksonville ended up settling with them, paying them $200,000. But don't you worry about Deputy Garriga. He ended up joining the gang task force. And what did he do there? Well, in 2023, he starred in the viral video of the brutal arrest of 23-year-old Lakean Woods. Woods' family said the incident bore a striking similarity to the traffic stop that ended the life of Jamie Johnson because he was stopped for not wearing a seatbelt too. The story got a lot of attention because of how terrible these bunk shots were. Apparently, he was struck in the head while resisting arrest, something like 17 times, many of which were accidental knee strikes. And during the investigation into that incident, it became public that Garriga and other members of the gang unit had a group text thread called Pussy Ass Crackers that was allegedly pretty racist. They were talking about how Johnson, the young man that he shot and killed, had this thing at an NFL game that was honoring him. And Garriga was like, they're only doing that because he's black. And then the one black guy in the gang unit was like, I don't appreciate you saying that. And then shortly after, quit the unit. So all of that brings us to today. And Deputy Garriga being back in the news. But don't you worry. He didn't beat anybody. He didn't shoot anybody. No, he just got arrested himself for sex crimes with a minor. Deputy Jose Garriga. And there's a lot. Unlawful activity with certain minors, plural. Lewd touching of certain minors, plural. Traveling to meet a minor for unlawful sexual activity, unlawful use of a two-way communication device to commit a felony, and transmission of harmful materials to a minor. What kind of things do you think he might have been transmitting? Garriga met the victim, a 17-year-old girl, at church and suggested she downloaded WhatsApp to talk to him. He then used the application to send her nude photos and asked her for photos of herself. According to the press release, police found 305 interactions between Garriga and the victim on her cell phone. The victim also told police she had a inappropriate physical interaction with Garriga in his car. They're still investigating, and the fact that they said minors tells me there's more than just her, and they certainly are looking for more victims and asking anyone with information to please contact them. But what sucks is how this came out of left field. Like there were no indications that maybe this guy wasn't a good guy. If only there had been some sort of warning, something to let the department know, maybe this guy shouldn't be a cop. Maybe this guy has impulse control problems. Maybe this guy doesn't care about the law, just cares about servicing his own wants and needs. If only there had been some sort of sign that that's who he was. Then maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't have been in a position of power and authority that he could use to groom and abuse children.